Tonight, we pull back the veil on a man whose voice defined generations and whose life unraveled before the eyes of the world. Michael Jackson, the king of pop, was adored by millions, accused by some, and haunted by demons both real and imagined. This is not just the story of a superstar, it's a descent into obsession, control, and the darkness of fame itself. Join me as we uncover the mysteries, the lies, and the lingering questions that still shadow his legacy. Welcome to A Veil of Crime. The Making of a Legend. Born on August 29, 1958 in Gary, Indiana, Michael Joseph Jackson was the seventh of 9 children. From an early age, his extraordinary talent was undeniable. Managed by his father, Joe Jackson, Michael's childhood was consumed by rehearsals, performances, and relentless discipline. The Jackson Five rose rapidly through Motown, and by the early 1970s, Michael's voice had already become iconic. But the fame came with a cost: isolation, emotional abuse, and the loss of childhood innocence. The first accusations, 1993. In 1993, Michael's image as the eternal childlike performer shattered when allegations of child molestation surfaced. 13 years old Jordan Chandler and his father accused Jackson of sexual abuse. The media frenzy was relentless, and though no criminal charges were filed at the time, the case was settled out of court for approximately $23 million. Jackson maintained his innocence, claiming that the settlement was made to end the media circus. However, the damage to his reputation was irreversible. His eccentric behavior, Neverland Ranch, and relationships with young fans were thrust under the microscope. The 2005 trial. In 2005, new allegations brought Michael back into the courtroom. This time, the accusations came from Gavin Arvizo, a boy who had appeared in Martin Bashir's controversial documentary, Living with Michael Jackson. The prosecution painted Jackson as a manipulative predator, while the defense depicted him as a naive man trapped in perpetual childhood. After a grueling 4-month trial, the jury found Jackson not guilty on all counts, but the ordeal left him emotionally and financially broken, and his public image was forever tainted. Isolation and addiction. Following the trial, Jackson withdrew further from the public eye. Neverland Ranch was sold, debts mounted, and he became increasingly reliant on prescription medications. Friends and associates reported that he suffered from insomnia, anxiety, and physical pain, ailments exacerbated by years of surgeries and stress. His dependency on sedatives and painkillers would ultimately lead him to the doctor whose name became synonymous with his death, Dr. Conrad Murray. The final countdown. This is it. In 2009, Michael announced a major comeback, the This Is It concert series in London. It was to be his grand return, a chance to reclaim his legacy. But behind the scenes, exhaustion, pressure, and financial desperation pushed him to the brink. Those close to him recalled his fragile health and his growing dependence on a powerful anesthetic called propofol, administered under Dr. Murray's supervision. June 25, 2009, the day the music died. On the morning of June 25, 2009, emergency services were called to Michael Jackson's rented mansion in Holmby Hills. He was found unresponsive in his bedroom. Despite efforts to revive him, Michael Jackson was pronounced dead at the age of 50. The coroner ruled the death homicide, caused by acute propofol and benzodiazepine intoxication. Dr. Conrad Murray was charged with involuntary manslaughter in 2011, and he was sentenced to 4 years in prison. Conspiracy theories and shadows of doubt. Even after Dr. Murray's conviction, questions lingered. Some claim that Murray was merely a scapegoat for a larger system that exploited Jackson's frailty. Others suggested that AEG Live, the company managing his tour, pushed him beyond physical limits, prioritizing profit over health. Then came the theories. Some fans believed that Jackson faked his death, citing alleged sightings and inconsistencies in reports. Others claimed darker forces were at play, referencing occult symbolism, industry control, and so-called Illuminati narrative that Jackson himself hinted at in interviews. No credible evidence has ever substantiated these claims, yet they endure, fueled by mystery, mistrust, and the world's inability to let go of its fallen idol. Legacy and reflection. Michael Jackson's death marked the end of an era. His influence on music, dance, and culture remains unmatched, yet his life story continues to divide. To some, he was a misunderstood genius, destroyed by fame. To others, a deeply flawed man whose actions defied forgiveness. The truth, perhaps, lies somewhere in between, hidden beneath layers of celebrity, trauma, and tragedy. In the end, his greatest creation may have been his own myth, one the world continues to unravel. Thank you for joining me on this investigation into the life, the trials, and the mysterious death of Michael Jackson. What do you believe? Was he a victim, a villain, or both? If you'd like to see me do a deep dive on another case, drop your requests in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And remember, every story has two sides until we pull back the veil.